In today's video, we are not doing anything related to Halloween, but our task is a scary one. I recently moved to Colorado, but I happened to be home in Dallas for the weekend, and it kind of just feels like my room exploded upon itself. And I don't really know how this happens because last year I decluttered over 2,000 items, and yet somehow my room always enters this state of disarray, even if I've only been in it for like 24 hours. So the task today isn't just to clean my room, it's also to declutter a little bit. When I left for Colorado, I set a personal goal for myself that whenever I came home to Dallas to visit, I would declutter one box of goods, and I didn't do that the last time I was home. So today I have to declutter 2 boxes, and I'm going to take you along for the journey. And Kiki's going to be here too. Before I start decluttering, before I start organizing, first things first, I'm going to gather up all the trash, all the recycling, and all the dishes and take them downstairs. Okay, I've cleared away recycling and any plates I had. I also took a moment to pick up any clothes that were on the floor and put them in my hamper. I'm keeping my trash bag with me just because as I declutter, as I continue to clean, I'm sure there will be more trash that I come across. I've thrown away the obvious stuff for now. There's certain to be stuff hidden under all these piles. The next thing I'm gonna do is actually make my bed look nice. This has nothing to do with organizing or decluttering, but it is a massive portion of just making this room feel cleaner, helping me feel a little less stressed out by its chaotic state. Bed is made and already the room feels so much better. But there's still lots to do. I'm now gonna go through and just pick up everything, and as I pick up, decide if I want something or if I want to declutter it. Here are the 2 boxes that I will be filling up today. The size differential is large, but when I made this rule of filling up a box every single time I came home, I made no distinction about how big or small it had to be. So these are the 2 boxes we're working with. Okay, the room is picked up and complete. I got to a place where I filled up my 2 boxes, and so then just started putting things away and organizing rather than trying to declutter. I don't want to overly declutter, overly exhaust myself with that. So I've completed my 2 boxes. I could get something else in that box actually, but I'm not gonna. Obviously the room isn't perfect. We're having a desk situation over here. I'm having a new desk brought into this room at some point in the future. But for the most part, everything's nice. That area, my craft area, needs work. I'll focus on that on a future trip home. And also I packed up since I am leaving in just a couple days. But yeah, it's so much nicer, and I have an entire bookshelf free. I'm gonna quickly do an overview of all the items that I'm decluttering. These are all the items that fit into this smaller box. Over here we have 2 celestial themed journals. I keep them through round and round of declutter, and I just never use them, so I think it's time to say goodbye. Honestly, I could just say that for most of this stuff. We have some water paper paint info guides. I have multiple of these. That's why I'm getting rid of 2 of them, because I literally have this exact book out in Colorado. Same with this. I have a larger color mixing recipe book, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. This is a sketchbook that a long time ago I ripped the pages that I'd actually drawn on out, so this is empty, so I can go ahead and donate it. In fact, most of this stuff I'm gonna donate except for the makeup, which I have to throw away because that's gross. Then we just have some random bits and bobs. We have a thing of hand sanitizer. We have a comb. We've got 3 erasers that I've had for almost a decade. It's time to say goodbye to those. Teeny tiny little pencil sharpener, 1 single paper clip, a Doctor Who branded bookmark. This I'm only counting as 1 item, even though it could probably count as about 30, maybe 20, but it's a box called Random Crap from Here and There, and it's filled with old paints. A box of tacks. I have tacks out in Colorado, so I don't need these anymore. A couple of paint brushes, some random pens that are either out of ink or I just don't use anymore. These are colored pencils made out of wood. I used to love these, but I just never use these anymore. This is a little travel mirror. I have one that I like better than this, so I'm gonna get rid of it. These are 3 little mini mascaras that I don't need anymore, so I'm gonna throw these away. This is a palette from Huda Beauty. No. This is a palette from Huda Beauty that I've had for quite some time. I really struggled to keep this last year during my big 2,000 item declutter. I made up so many excuses to keep this around. I've been in Colorado for a month and a half now. I haven't even thought about this. I have tons of other palettes that serve exactly the same color story that this one does, so I'm gonna get rid of it. This is a lipstick color that I don't like on me anymore. This is an empty box, which I know should just count as trash, but here's the thing, because I'm crazy, I love keeping and storing my empty makeup boxes, so I count getting rid of one as actually decluttering, because this is an item I've been holding on to. It's not just a piece of trash to me. This is just a piece of trash, to be honest, but whatever, it counts. This is an eyeliner or lip liner, I think, that I bought that I hated, so I'm gonna get rid of that. We're getting back into art supplies now. These are postcards with designs on them. I have several postcard packets like these, and I just figured this is one that I could easily say goodbye to. Again, another little watercolor guide thing. These are some brush markers. I've got so many sets of brush markers, so this one's really easy to say goodbye to. This is a palette that is clearly used, but I have, again, so many palettes that I can say goodbye to this one. So overall, most of this stuff, not super emotional getting rid of it, which makes me think, why didn't I declutter this stuff last year? You know, I know why. Actually, I'm gonna answer that own question. Because a lot of this stuff was actually in a box in my garage. I didn't even know I had a lot of this stuff. And then when I was moving out to Colorado, I was emptying all my boxes in my garage and I saw this and I was like, oh, huh. And I hadn't opened that box in 6 years. And so clearly a lot of these items, didn't miss them for about 6 years. Definitely time to declutter them. And then we have our final 19 items. Most of these are books, but we do have a couple of candles and empty candle canisters that I used to really love to hold on to, but again, it just kind of seems silly to hold on to these things. I also have a lavender eye pillow. It's really lost its scent and it has kind of weird stains on it, so it's time to say goodbye. And then for the rest of these books, well, this is actually a journal, first of all. I bought this at the start of the year when I was really struggling to write on my computer. I had someone in my life suggest that I try and handwrite, and let me tell you, it was an amazing experience, and I'm really grateful to this journal for what it helped me achieve in a time when I really needed help. But I also get this like pit in my stomach when I look at this, and I remember the mindset that I was in back in like January, February. So I want to get rid of it. I took out the pages that I had written in. I'm gonna hold on to those, but the journal itself I'm gonna donate so that it can hopefully help somebody else. The rest of these items are books. I actually have a video where I decluttered 150 plus books last year, and these are all books that made it through that declutter. Some of them were acquired after the declutter. I joined a subscription box for writers, and in the box every month a book would come, and I just would never read them. And here's the thing, I've gotten really realistic with myself about my TBR. If I have a smaller TBR, then the chances that I actually read the books on that TBR increase because I'm not so overwhelmed by everything on my bookshelf. So that kind of applies for almost all of these. I have not read any of these, and I don't really have any intention of lugging them all the way out to Colorado. Some of these, especially this one, they're quite chonky. I am accepting of the fact that there will potentially be a time in my life when I want to read these books, and I acknowledge that I can then go to a library or go to the bookstore and purchase them again, and that's fine. Over here, If you've been watching the VEDIO videos, you will notice that I just bought this book actually, and I'm already decluttering it. Why? Well, first of all, I read it. I read this on a writing retreat, kind of the perfect time of year to read a book like this. But here's the thing. One of the rules I have for myself out my apartment in Colorado is that I can only really keep books that are extremely important, sentimental, or just like life-changing to me, as I do not have the space to amass a huge collection of books. So given that, I know what you're thinking. You literally just put out a whole video about you spending tons of money at Barnes & Noble buying all those books. But I did that with the intention of eventually donating those books. So this is all in the plan. Me getting rid of this is not a specific slight to My Roommate is a Vampire. It's not going on my permanent bookshelf. And then finally, I have this. It's a coffee table book called Wabi Sabi Welcome. It's kind of one of those like lifestyle books that you can flip through. I thought it was gonna have a lot of tips and tricks for how to kind of live a minimalistic, intentional lifestyle. And it does, but for the most part, it's like this. It's pictures, which is nice. Oh, there's some recipes, I guess, but I've flipped through it a lot, and every single time I'm always hoping for it to be more than what it is. So I'm gonna let that one go as well. I believe the books plus the candles, etc. was 19 items, and if I'm remembering correctly, I had 48 items in the other batch. So whatever, I'm just gonna put up the number of items decluttered in this little batch on the screen. Hopefully this video was inspiring to you to face your own scary messes in either physical or digital or whatever, and maybe you now want to do a bit of a declutter, but also no pressure, no need to. I just really needed to, and it was kind of scaring me, and I was like, oh, scary. Scary is October. This activity is for October. This video is for October. VEDIO. Anyway, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled actual Halloween related content tomorrow, but thanks so much for coming along with me on this journey of decluttering. Thank you so much for watching another VEDIO video. Remember, if you like writing, Halloween, or anything in between, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another video. Until then, don't forget to go be happy, go be healthy, and go write. Bye!